Breaking news just in, the state of Arizona makes history. It is officially the first state to launch the strategic Bitcoin reserve, pledging up to 10% of public funds. So let's break this baby down. As you can see here in the headline, Arizona state approves.
I try to entertain you guys, but on a serious note, you're all being set up. I just hope you understand this. Trump is setting you up for a golden age. It's all lies. The whole tariff war, the port shutdowns, the mainstream media, it's all BS, all bullcrap. So like every story you're reading right now about, oh, it's going to go back to the lockdown, whatever, blah, blah. I can't say the word with the C, right? That's all a setup. Like Donald Trump has this full under control. Literally, he's mocking the American people and he's setting you up for this big transition that he already has pre-planned. So just understand this. I see a lot of people really freaking out right now. They're like, oh, the Los Angeles ports are shut down and the Long Beach ports are shut. Yeah, those are serious issues if they were to be taken for real. But you live in an idiocracy. You understand this is reality television. They have you in a sitcom. I'm telling you straight up, I've never been more freaking bullish. Like, you need to go all in now. You need to be getting into Island Project. You need to be getting into Bitcoin, crypto, like your life depends on it. You have no other option.
Sitting around, 94K Bitcoin prices today. We had the crazy run up through like 100K, and then everything cooled off. And everyone's feeling like, okay, was that it? Right? And I'm here to tell you that we have not seen anything yet.
Today I sit down with Brandon Green, Chief of Staff at BTC Inc., the company behind the Bitcoin conference, the Bitcoin magazine, and an insider in the space.
You're going to look back in this moment and be like, I can't believe anyone was questioning whether this bull market was just getting started. Like, obviously, it was just getting started. And yet here we are, like everyone's still questioning it. Where is Bitcoin right now? So obviously, I think today is officially the 100-day mark of the Trump administration, right? So in those 100 days, we've seen the largest economy, the largest financial economy in the world, flip from one that is hostile to Bitcoin to one that is trying to be as supportive as possible. And I think with that comes a lot of lagging effects that are going to be felt in the market in the back half of this year. But let's not forget that we already had a watershed moment of the U.S. government announcing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We have not yet heard the audit results of how much Bitcoin or how many Bitcoins the U.S. government is currently sitting on. Those will come out in due time. We don't know the timeline on those. We're waiting on Trump to make that announcement himself. But once that happens, and once some of the trade conversations are in a more smooth place, let's say, we actually were just talking to Secretary Lutnick, and he said that a very key thing to start talking about soon is the acquisition program for the U.S. government to be buying Bitcoin. So that hasn't started yet, as far as we know. That will start. That is out there as something that the market should know is about to happen. And so this is going to be truly a new category of market participant entering for the first time that operates on a number of zeros that no other market participant has the ability to do. And so, this is not a gradual increase in the usage and participation of Bitcoin. This is a phase change of what Bitcoin does for the world. It is no longer going to be something that, plebs and even financial institutions get to kind of, be the main market participants. Now we're going to be in the world of settling trade and securing, currencies around the world and backing governments and all sorts of things. I mean, Bitcoin is entering into a brand new part of its life. And I think this is a massively exciting moment for Bitcoin. And it's almost surreal to be talking to you like in this moment. We're just right on the precipice of the actual machinations coming to fruition over the next probably 100 to 200 days.
It's crazy that this is actually happening, because when Trump was promising is getting into this massive game changer, yet many people are calling this the new arms race, the digital arm race, because other countries are now forced, whether they're going to do it this year or not, are forced to take it seriously this year and either get a strategic Bitcoin reserve sooner or wait and buy higher later. Other countries adopting a Bitcoin strategic reserve Is that happening, and what degree?
Oh, it's absolutely happening. We are fortunate enough to be uh, from time to time talking to people who have direct knowledge of what these government activities are. And we got very strong signals from those folks between when Trump won election and when he took office, where people were saying, "Hey, if he does this, we're doing it." We had 10 plus, maybe 15 plus conversations with different people in different countries that had basically said, like, if Trump does this, our country is doing this too. It's really just a matter of time before those get announced and get papered or whatever sort of processes they need in order to be public about it. But privately, it's already happening, and I know that for a fact.
So would you say by the end of 2025, December 31st, there'll be 10 announced strategic Bitcoin reserves of other countries, or 2026, or what's the timeline?
It's a question of whether they'll be announced. But will there be 10 strategic reserves around the world? Absolutely. There probably already are, to be honest. Like I could probably name in my head uh, at least five other countries that already have them and just aren't public with it right now. And again, it's like, it's one thing to have a reserve of Bitcoin. It's another thing to be actively accumulating it based on some sort of strategy around your currency, around trade balances, et cetera. And so, um, you know, think of this sort of similar to in retail, like you first learn about Bitcoin, right? And you first buy some, right? It's one thing to say like, oh yeah, I've got like 1% of my net worth in Bitcoin. It's another thing to be like, I need to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can possibly buy, right? And that is the path that these countries are going to take because that is what Bitcoin incentives, tee up. Like this is what everyone does. So they get into Bitcoin. They're like, oh, I'll just get a little bit, and then the next thing you know, like every portion of your paycheck that you don't have to hammer down, like goes straight into Bitcoin, right? So I expect this to happen in short order with many of these countries. And the reality is that the first country to start thinking like that wins.